This small chip has the power to detect genetic mutations that cause disease and can help doctors provide better treatments, all within minutes.
Let's say you have a DNA sample from a patient, and you want to make sure that that gene that you're interested in is a healthy gene. You introduce that to our device, CRISPR-Chip, and then CRISPR-Chip will start looking for the DNA.
CRISPR-Chip is a handheld device that combines thousands of CRISPR molecules with a graphene transistor. Researchers designed CRISPR to scan through DNA and find specific genes or mutations, while the transistor is super sensitive to electrically charged materials, like our DNA.
We introduce the DNA from the patient on top of the graphene surface in CRISPR-Chip. The CRISPR scans these DNAs. If CRISPR doesn't find its target gene, it won't bind to it, and the DNA is released. But if it scans and it finds its target, then it'll bind to it. Then this binding will create an additional charge on top of the graphene surface, and this can be sensed with CRISPR-Chip. This shows you the response that we get from CRISPR-Chip. Here, you're looking at when we actually introduce our DNA sample and remove it from the sensor. This endpoint, if it doesn't match this initial point, that means that our CRISPR-Chip was able to detect gene that we programmed it to detect. This is which sample? This is a DMD sample. So far, we have tested the technology for muscular dystrophy. We are currently testing it for sickle cell disease, which is much more difficult to detect. And we are hoping to increase the sensitivity of our system to detect infectious disease as well. Our system is a few years away from being product for diagnostics, but in its current format, it can be used for many other applications. For example, it can help scientists and researchers design better CRISPR complexes when they're trying to use these complexes for gene editing.
Clinical trials are using CRISPR to edit and hopefully cure genetic disease. But researchers must first test whether the CRISPR molecule they design will find and edit the mutated gene and not a healthy gene nearby. With CRISPR-Chip, they could test this faster than ever before. In the future, researchers imagine a chip that can scan multiple mutations simultaneously.
I'm very excited about being able to use the power of CRISPR with digital devices. This will enable us to do a lot of things that we were not able to do before.